Alright, I just put together this Blood Omen 1 movie. I was aiming for a 45-minute version. Crystal Dynamics. Silicon Knights. And this, I got it down to 50 minutes, 50-something.
There is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon.
To talk while
when it
they're
becomes
talking,
necessary to utter a word,
they're always going to
the
be
whole
talking.
planet must be bathed in blood.
Video. You know, so then you're just sort of talking over the cinema scenes, just sort of adding whatever you can think of. And then, you know, like this scene, the beginning of the game, I almost thought of editing it out because the scene is going to repeat later in the game. But then, this scene almost is the entire series. And can you even tell what they're yelling? No, I can't really tell what they're yelling. See, I thought they were yelling Merlin or something, but they were actually yelling Malik. And Malik is actually, you know, I only found this out recently. Malik is the name of... Yeah, he's completely ruining the movie he put together by talking the whole time. You can't even hear what he's saying. Yeah, when I was thinking about that when I put this together, I'm like, it's almost better if I just post the video without video commentary. Because it was like, what was the point of putting it together the way it is? I don't know, but it also seemed pointless to just put up another Legacy of Kain movie that just won't be seen. Those are already on the internet. Just be watching that one instead.
You have but one purpose.
Maybe I should be describing who these characters are. I don't know yet. I don't really know what the point of doing this is, but yeah, Malik is the name of the Hebrew god or whatever. That's what it was. Exodus, Gods and Kings movie, Christian Bale. The Malik version, and Malik is the angel of hell in Islam. So
posing.
It's a real heavy name.
Best be on your way, stranger.
Malik.
What? No mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man in these dark
and
times.
This is basically how
things come with a night that no sane man would welcome. And so I left. Cold of heart and soul,
probably just
forced
see that it's
to the road
game
and the long,
sort of
bitter
overhead.
night.
I have no interest in doing this. You come out here and just sort of die. He's like, yeah, I don't really want to play this game. And the fans of the series just keep on hyping up everything about it, like a bunch of maniacs. And then there's this scene. It's like, no, I don't like this out here in hell. That's no good.
They victors, suffering to the conquered. Ironic that now I was the one suffering. Not anything as pedestrian as physical pain, rather the cruel, jabbed, impotent anger. The hunger for revenge. I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. All I wanted was to kill my assassins. Sometimes, you get what you wish for. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost. Nothing is free, not even revenge.
You will have the blood you hunger for.
I awoke to the pain of a new existence, in a dank womb of darkness and decay.
Yeah,
The world had changed to my eyes. I had not expected such cruelty from the light. For in the embrace of the sun I could find no comfort, only malice. This would change in time for the worse, along with other things.
So, I was gonna go through all the
pillars
games
for an answer.
Try and get them down to hour-long videos of not 45 minutes, which is just like
Night
impossible.
dawns, and with it,
That's
the
sort
vampire
of
grows
the challenge
stronger.
is to cut out as much of the game
The pillars
as you
of
can.
Nosgoth. Even in life, few sights have moved me such as this.
And then they're not
I
even going to be able
marvel
to
that such
follow
beauty
the
should
plots
grace
of the
our dying
narration
world.
if you're also talking.
Nopraptor, your madness has shattered our dreams and blinded you.
Keep your distance, or I'll send you back to hell, spirit!
There is nothing left of me to fear, vampire. I'm only a shadow of my former self, Ari, the balance of the Circle of Nine. Even so, I can provide the answers you seek.
I seek only a cure.
There is no cure for death, only release. You must destroy the sorcery that is now poisoning Nosgoth. Only then will you realize peace. The Nine of the Protectors of Hope were sworn to use their powers to preserve our world. Now these pillars have been corrupted by a traitor. My murder at the hands of this beast drove my love Nopraptor mad. Now he spreads misery and pain among the Circle, crumbling the very foundation of Nosgoth.
Like this one,
You must restore
try and do
balance.
the other
You
Legacy
must
and
right
King
the
games,
pillars of Nosgoth.
and
I care not for the
maybe
fate of this
some of the
world.
Legend
Then
of
for
Zeldas,
yourself,
like
Cain.
Ocarina of Time,
Beware
Majora's
the
Mask,
unspoken.
Wind Waker, because those are the video games, The Legend of Zelda, that I played back when I was a kid.
Raptor, with his blind act
Sonic
of vengeance,
Adventure,
threatened to
1 and
destroy
2,
all of Nosgoth.
Prince
Each
of
circle
Persia,
member was bonded
Sands
to
of
the pillar he
Time,
served.
Warrior
The pillars
Within,
reflected the mental state of their servants, and
Two
as the minds of the
Thrones,
circle degenerated and descended
maybe the
farther
Devil
into
May
dementia,
Cry
the
games.
pillars crumbled.
I
To
don't
restore
know,
them,
you'll
each
see
member of the
how
circle
many
had
of
to
them you
die,
can do
and the
before
artifact
you
that
just
served
get
as their link to the
completely
pillar
tired of it.
had to be returned. Only when all the pillars were restored
Because it's
did
sort
Ariel
of the
claim my
slightest
curse
amount
would
of
end.
fun.
And so,
And it's
my
not
hunt
fun
for
everyone.
Nopraptor began.
The blood of ages flows so sweet.
In fact, this is
Come,
some of these
drink
games
from
like
us.
this one are really offensive, and you get to this part and you're like, no, I don't like this game. I don't like how there's a fountain of blood in this room.
Your strength has increased, for our blood enhances.
Nopraptor's keep lay west of Vassabunt. I would seek to cut the cancer from its heart.
And you probably
However, when the
wouldn't
moment
start the
passes,
series
I will be
this
drained
game
of
because
all
I don't
magic,
think
unable to
anyone
cast even the simplest of spells.
knew this game existed.
Should this object strike an enemy, rot and decay would instantly eat their flesh and leave only a pool of blood and tissue. For a time after, the toxins are still active and therefore lethal to the touch. From the depths of the retreat's eye sockets, I viewed Nosgoth in a different fashion. The glass seemed to warp the image and taint the color, as if Nosgoth needed assistance in making its corruption apparent.
And that was foreshadowing.
Malik, have you come to fail the circle once more? Leave, Paladin. I do not need your protection. Come, Cain. Come, share my pain.
So, this was the mentalist Nopraptor, this broken, pathetic little man. Yet crippled as he was, he would not yield without battle. Very well, old fool. If it is death you seek, I will not deny you. Perhaps the head of her beloved will convince Ariel that I have accomplished my task.
Oh yeah, this takes me back. Oh yeah, but what I was saying was you probably wouldn't have started with this game series. You might have started with Soul Reaver. Then I don't know if you beat to the first Soul Reaver. Some say it was the best. Then Soul Reaver 2, I think, had slightly more advertisement.
I placed Nupraptor's head before the pillar of the mind, and watched on as it dissolved into the stone. The pillar accepted its offering.
And the first
Thus,
Soul Reaver
it was restored.
was one of the only games
Nupraptor was
on
but the
Dreamcast.
genesis. Forever tainted by his madness, the circle was beyond redemption.
And
For
then
them, absolution
Legacy
lay
of
only
Kain
in
Defiance
death.
came out,
In
and I
me,
played that
they would
one,
find
and
their
they made the
deliverance.
game- it
But
sounded
first I
all
had to defeat their
really
shepherd.
intriguing, and then you
Malek,
tried
defender
to
of the Nine, lay in a
get all
keep
the
to the
way
far
through
north,
the
past
other video
Vassabund.
games to try
It
and
was
put
time
together
for
the
me to test
story,
the
and
wrath
it doesn't
of the
seem
pillar of
like
conflict.
something you'd still do, but
Death
all
in the
the
circle breathes life to the
fangs
pillars.
seem really
For every pillar,
die-hard.
there is a token. Only with these shall they be restored. But to reach a warrior, you must first breach his ward. Find Malek and destroy him. Only then will the circle fall.
Gosh, it would almost be better if I was reading the script and adding the video in the corner video. It's difficult to think of stuff to say while watching the thing.
Demise.
Yeah, well,
Malek's
that's
bastion,
how bad
perched defiantly
my
on the mountaintop, black as
gaming
night against the
videos
blanket
are.
of snow. What manner of man would choose a land so harsh and utterly devoid of life?
Yeah, I was like 12 or 13 when I played this game. And I was playing it really hard because I was worried that this game wasn't going to be fun for much longer. So I was like, I need to get this done now while it's still fun.
My eyes yearned from lack of contrast. My mouth ached for want of blood. In this cold wasteland, food was scarce, and my hunger grew.
And as you can see, the game is
The guards at the
actually
gate
just
offered no
disturbing.
resistance. They were frozen solid, and dead as they stood, their flesh welded to the cold metal of their armor.
Just saying
A
bunch of
corpse
violent
held
stuff.
court on a tattered throne, grinning malignantly at me through blackened teeth.
It is not often that a man sees his own corpse. It is a sobering experience. But I am far less interested in my own corpse than I am in yours. Prepare yourself, vampire!
Yeah, well, I only still I had the game on PS1. I wasn't expecting to ever see the game, but I got it at a used video game store. Someone had traded it in. But the game was available on
Havoc
PlayStation
and malice,
Online
their presence in my
store
hands
for
keeps me from
PlayStation
employing
3.
magic. Yet rest assured,
And
they do
then
little
have
to
some of the
hamper my
games
relish
on
for slaughter.
Steam, but most of them don't work except
Twould
for
seem Malek's
Defiance.
destiny with my blade was postponed.
And that's
Perhaps
something
Ariel
you probably
could
don't
offer further
really
guidance.
want to do.
Ah, the Lord returns empty-handed. Does the Seraphim elude you? Very well. Go east of Malek's bastion. The Oracle shall give you aid.
High upon the face of these cliffs, hidden amongst the complex network of caves, the underground sanctity of the wise Oracle of Nosgoth lay sleeping. Perhaps it was time to brave the winds and seek out this oracle from the vantage point of the heavens.
A nobleman, seeking wisdom? Death has taught you well.
Enough philosophy. I seek answers.
Answers indeed. I have them all if you have the questions. And what are the questions for these answers? King Atmar, the only hope to defeat the legions of the Nemesis. King Atmar, paralyzed by his princess's malaise. King Atmar, the useless. Pray, good sir, what are the questions?
A pox upon your tricks and babble, old man. Answer me this. Who is Malik, and how can I defeat him?
All in time, Sirrah. Yes, time. Unless you master it, it will master you. And now it's time for your answer. Malik, defender of the Nine, and last of the Seraphim sorcerer priests. His vanity led to the slaughter of the Circle at the hands of the vampire Vorador. For his failing, his spirit was fused to a hellish set of magical armor. He has allowed no member of the Circle to fall since.
What of this Vorador?
Follow the glow of the Ignis Fatuus to the Termagant Forest.
Ignis Fatuus?
The Ignis Fatuus lights the path to hell, nobleman. Your path.
Yeah, and the Ignis
Time
Fatuus
came.
thing, that's supposed to be a real
Next
thing,
time.
but what does that even mean? Yeah, there's supposed to be torches that light the path to hell. In this case, the torches lead to a
The Black Forest
vampire's
reigned
mansion.
here, its kingdom rarely invaded by those that live in the light. But it was called home by
No,
this
no, wait,
mysterious
I need to look that up
Vorador.
and double-check
Legend
it.
told of a time when Vorador defeated Malek of the Seraphan. If such a man did exist, then he could perhaps be the key to defeating the Ward.
Yeah, and a lot of these locations they visit and the characters they use, they come up a few more times in Soul Reaver 2 and the Defiance. Yeah, each game expands some of the lore a little bit, but actually, like, all the stuff is so bad. Or it's still sort of good, in a way.
The luxury with which this Vorador surrounded himself was impressive. His wealth would shame the haughty nobles of my former court. That this vulgar display of fortune remained undisturbed was a testament of fear's dominion over greed. Their charms were almost visible through the gauze of their clothing, yet beauty such as theirs delivered only death. For these were Vorador's pets, nothing more than beasts, slave to his will and the easy prey he provided. Vampires, all of them, held in thrall by one stronger still. Vorador's pantry, a vampire's feast. Like cattle awaiting slaughter, men and women dangled from the rusted hooks upon the dungeon walls. Blood and viscera frosted the dirt and stone. The abundance nearly overwhelmed me, for blood is the life.
In the bowels of that black forest, I found something worse than hell. A vision of what I was becoming.
It's not often I see one of our own, especially one as young and foolish as yourself. Nonetheless, drink. Drink deep and indulge your gift.
Gift? Vorador thought my curse a blessing. That we were gods. But mortals offered their blood as sacrifice so that we could enjoy our supernatural powers. And somewhere, deep inside my new self, I knew he was right. That mortal dreams were prayers. Prayers to us, begging us for power. I pondered this as the decadent old fool prattled on about his past. A boorish account of how he defeated Malek of the Seraphim and took his vengeance upon the Circle of Nine for supporting the Seraphim holy war to exterminate us.
Maybe it would have been fine if this was the first time you were seeing this. Yeah, you think about that in the video editing, but then the people that are going to watch it are probably the people that already know the game series, or then they're just watching it because you're trying to show it to them, and they're not really putting any of this together. It's like, oh yeah, what does it look like for you?
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses!
After slaughtering 6 of the sheep, I defeated their pathetic little shepherd, Malek. Since then, our kind has not bothered with the cattle, except to feed.
Voradors and
I suggest
Soul Reaver
you
2, Blood Omen 2.
meddling with the affairs of man can do us no good. Seraphan witch hunts are much too tedious to concern ourselves with. Am I understood, Cain?
Can't really tell. Is he like a monster, or is he like
if you ever need
buddies,
assistance,
like with buddies with a monster?
Despite your youthful arrogance, you amuse me, Cain.
Yeah, that's all the characters are.
This. Now be gone.
Left that place, with clear knowledge of what sort of monster I would become if I let my curse consume me. And with an ally for the future.
Yeah, I think I'll have nightmares about that scene. But
A triad congregates at the roof of the world, Cain. A plot to twist the land to shape the world. North is where your vengeance lies.
This part almost seems like the world's largest dungeon in Dungeons and Dragons. Or a very classic, dark castle, just like Dark Cloud.
Its creator's ingenuity.
And something Ganondorf would do.
A tower stood in the distance. From its apex spewed the vortex of energy that shaped the lands below. Vessel of flesh. For these poor wretches, only oblivion awaits. Ah, not one, but 3.
This was
Tejul the Energist, Bane the Druid, and Anakroth the Alchemist. How considerate of them to hasten my search.
So the Scourge of the Circle has arrived!
Fear him not, Bane. He is but a whelp. His soul is ours for the taking.
Don't be ridiculous. Malek to our aid.
Damn you, Alchemist. I had not come this far only to have my quarry escape.
Vengeance
vengeance for my eternity of suffering.
Whelp! As if you knew what eternity was. Grovel before your true master!
Never. I'll hack you from crotch to gizzard and feed what's left to your brides.
Corridor clashed against Malik. I gave pursuit to the fleeing wizards, the Jewel and Bane. I danced their dance. When the time came, they would dance upon my sword.
His magic is weak! He is an affront to nature itself! It is our duty to purify him!
The antler headdress had broken in the fight, but power still resided in its ivory form. The cloak made from an alloy akin to lead, heavy and malleable, woven into fine
shield.
links. The energy she controlled was stored in this garment.
And I think it's actually sort of a joke, that bubble thing, because I think it's like putting a cup down around a spider.
I found Malik's helmet amongst the scattered remnants of his armor, whole and intact.
Joke.
Vorador had finally laid his old adversary to rest.
Yeah, the game does have a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, it has a lot of really
The helmet of
intense
Malik I placed before the pillar of
about
conflict.
religions and
The pillar
stuff.
accepted its offering. Thus,
It's real
it was
violent.
restored. The act had taken on the
So
feel
it's
of
basically
ritual.
over the line.
Isn't it strange how we must bribe our gods to stay? At the foot of the energy pillar, I set the cloak of Dejul. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored. The antler headdress of the druid Bane I lay before the nature pillar. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored.
You must seek Azimuth the Planer at the heart of Avernus.
Azimuth.
3 instruments await you to aid you in your quest. But first, you must rise, and you must fall, and find your salvation in between.
Azimuth
Avernus
almost
consumed
sounds like
itself
something
before my eyes.
demonic.
There seemed no easy path to gain entry to the hell laid out before me. Perhaps there was a way inside from above the chaos that reigned there.
Sort of a dramatic.
The gate of Avernus
reading.
opened slowly before me, daring me to cross the threshold. Who was I to reject such an invitation? The city was paved in blood and flesh. Yet what would have
that's what
appalled
the
me in
gameplay is,
life only
basically,
tempted
is just
me in
swinging
death.
your sword
Once I would have felt horror,
and
now
hitting
only
things
hunger remained.
next to you like that.
I felt its eyes upon me, eager, hungry, as if it longed to rip
we
my heart
did,
out
you know,
and eat it
try
before me
playing
as I
some of
died.
those games
I
that had,
laughed
like,
as the onslaught began.
Older
Perhaps
Legend of
when it was
Zeldas,
over,
but it's,
it would be the other way around.
probably something most people wouldn't be interested in.
Avernus was a religious autocracy, with the cathedral as its dais of power. Though the city lay in ruins, the cathedral
Legend of
remained
Zelda,
untouched.
Link to the
The
Past.
demons knew better than to bite the hand that feeds them.
I don't know what games he played
Above
on
me
Game
stood a
Boy
memory.
as a kid.
Etched in stained glass.
I mean, this wasn't a Game Boy game, though.
From the heavens, the tears of angels danced around me in a frenzy of fire. Time fades even legend,
And then you don't know.
and the origin of Soul Reaver
it's
has
supposed
been
to be in
lost long
heaven
ago.
right now.
But its purpose remains, to feed on the souls of any creature it strikes. Kindred, this blade and I. This armor was spawned in the most impure of spirit forges, tempered from the seething agony of tortured souls. The metal exists only partially in the human realm, causing it to fade between tangible and ethereal states.
Ah, what's this? I had not even realized the blade and the raiment were here. You wear those trinkets well, Cain, but I do believe that they would look better on me.
The matriarch of Avernus, the Lady Azimuth. Her magical planing skills summon demons through runes inscribed in human blood.
Yeah, and this was a pretty good level. And then the level...
Come to me, my children. We shall ravage Nosgoth together.
That was all snowy.
The soul flame sword.
So, little man, have they sent you to stop me?
Yeah, and this game in the series has the most armor and weapons and magic. Because they're all so simple.
My children shall rip you apart.
Or maybe other games don't have
Come, my demon. Let us sup on
I didn't think it was that good,
blood.
actually. I thought the gameplay could just be more simple. You don't really need the equipment.
For all her magic, the Lady Azimuth was
who
little
knows what they were
trouble.
thinking.
Once her demonic thralls had been dispatched, she fell quickly to my blade. Azimuth's third eye, a gift from the Pillar of Dimensions, allowed the planar sight into other realms. The pillar reclaims its own.
It will deliver you in time.
Yeah, and this game's only anything because it has...
Before the Dimension
other
Pillar,
games
I
in
lay the
series,
eye of
but
Azimuth.
then it's really
The pillar
not
accepted
that
its
popular,
offering.
actually.
Thus, it was restored.
Well done. You have found Mobius's toy.
And the series didn't
Azimuth,
continue.
not
People
content
don't
with
really want
summoning
to see it
demonic
be
thrall,
revived because it's
stole
so
the time-streaming
offensive.
device in order to gather creatures from other ages as well. Take care of the device, Cain.
There
It
is
will
still
deliver
some
you
fan
in
service though.
time.
Some guy did a
The
mod
legions
for
of the
Skyrim
Nemesis
to make
are on the
Skyrim
march from the
look like this
north,
game
crushing
or something.
all in their path. 'Twas not too long
know how
ago
real
that the
that
Nemesis
is.
was known as William the Just, a caring and gentle benefactor of the land. But as his army grew in strength, and he himself grew in power, the veil of tyranny fell, and one kingdom was not enough. So many cities, so many dead. Willendorf will be sure to follow. The Nemesis must be stopped, or all shall be lost.
How can one stop an army?
Is sort of
You
some
must
runes.
rally the
It's like,
forces
oh,
of
yeah, you
Willendorf.
expect me to like
They
that
are the
too?
last hope of Nosgoth.
And all this stuff is enough to set people off.
The Spectre of Ariel led me to Willendorf. If I was to defeat the next member of the Circle, I needed to understand his machinations. With this vague advice in mind, I set forth on the road to Willendorf.
Yeah, and the fans of the series,
Strange,
I don't
isn't it,
know if they
Cain?
actually
That one
like
cannot
the
quite
series as
accept
much as they
that
claim
which
to,
sustains him.
or if it's viral
You in
marketing.
your
I
death,
wonder if
and me in
they just
mine.
made a bunch of fake accounts.
But death
about
cannot reign in a
1,000
world without
accounts,
life.
you know, which would only take like
And
10
soon
accounts
you will find the
per
quest ahead of you
person if
is
100 people
yours
worked on
and
it,
yours
and
alone.
then left a
I
bunch
can
of
assist you
crazy
no
positive
longer.
comments and feedback raving about the game on all the videos.
Willendorf, proud defender of the realm with its warrior elite
But
and mighty
the
ruler,
viral
King
marketing
Otmar.
creates
The
some
Lion
kind of
Throne had
hysteria,
once held
or
my
maybe
allegiance,
it's just a
but
cult
Willendorf's
classic
days of
and
glory
fans
had
really
passed,
like it for some
was the last
reason.
bastion against an unruly future.
Well, you can see why people might still like it, because of how intense the themes are. But, you know, I used to think it was amazing, but then, you know, like, coming back to it, you know, it's like getting pulled in both directions at the same time, of not liking it at all and still kind of liking it a little bit. But then, you know, the violence and a lot of the other stuff, it's just difficult to stand by.
It would seem that only those of noble lineage were allowed to pass through the illustrious gates of Willendorf Castle, and the enchantment I had cast with my disguise was not enough to fool these soldiers of hope. I would need a stronger illusion to beguile them. Amongst the library tomes, it spoke of a small cult that existed in Nosgoth ages past. Wherever they traveled, strange tales of human possession would follow. Little is known of the god they worshipped.
And this part I almost edited out this entire part because this is sort of the weak point in the game.
Surrounded by all the finery of the realm, secure in their ignorance.
This is just a weird
As I walked among them, I smirked, thinking of the carnage that would befall them at the hands of the legions of the Nemesis, glorious flames, and the inevitable rape and pillage. Out of my way, peasant! The stench of the fields hangs over you like a pall.
The king sees no one. He is in mourning for the princess.
He'll be in mourning for his kingdom soon, and he'll mourn for you even sooner if you don't get out of my way! Woo! And so I won my audience, such as it was, with Otmar. He cared not for the invading armies from the north, only of the plight of his child.
Her birthday present.
Yeah, you see, this is what's
To
weird.
celebrate her birthday, I declared a contest. Whoever created the finest doll in the realm would be granted a royal favor. Hundreds of dolls were brought, but the winner was obvious. Elzevir, the doll maker, created a toy of such beauty that all were captivated by it.
Yeah, there's like some clown thing made a doll.
Soon after, she became like this, a lifeless puppet. Whoever restores her to her former self shall have this kingdom.
What?
Thus, my hunt for the doll maker began.
Yeah, and then when I kept the scene,
My daughter.
I thought it was all right
I fear I shall
because
never hear her
it's sort of a
delicate laugh
sleeping
again.
beauty scene. Yeah, just some person in like a coma over a magic spell.
Otmar slumped on his throne like a rag doll, his beard matted with tears of his own self-pity. In my court, he would have long since been usurped by one stronger, but in Willendorf, they worshipped him, even in his weakness. I wondered what Willendorf would do when Otmar's death finally arrived. Through whispers of the court, I learned that the army of the Last Hope, Willendorf's proud militia, was in no condition to fight the invading legions of the Nemesis. They were busy scouring the lands to the north in search of the Dollmaker and Otmar's daughter. I also learned of a tunnel, which would take me rapidly from Willendorf to the suspected area.
It sounds like there's a tunnel in the
This was once the most academic of cities, housing some of the most prestigious universities in all of Nosgoth. While I would not weep over lost tomes, I detested the sight of scars left upon the world at the hands of the Nemesis. I have come for the soul.
Oh, here he is now.
So, Otmar sent you to kill me, eh? I can smell him on you. Or is that the stench of the grave?
You see, this seems kind of like a side mission, a side quest.
Dollmaker, I have no time for these games.
In between every,
I earned it! Otmar gave it to me!
That you were doing
Then you shall earn it with blood.
Pillars.
You shall not have
any of
it!
the stories
Mine,
so far.
mine!
Yeah, there should have been side missions. No. I don't think anyone actually wanted there to be side missions.
I was lucky to have made you.
Maybe we
odd
could have
little
helped
man.
our mermaid turn
Now,
back into a human
to
or
find
something.
the soul. Elzevir imprisoned the girl's soul in a small fabric doll. The old man's intentions I shall never know.
In the same way, Malik sounded like
I entered the court with the dollmaker's head in one hand and the doll containing the girl's soul in the other. I placed them both before the king and watched his eyes catch fire. With the doll in their possession, the court's sorcerers could restore his daughter's soul.
I do not know that I can thank you enough, warrior. My kingdom is but a small price to pay for my daughter's life. Willendorf is yours if you wish it.
It is not your kingdom I desire, but your army, Otmar. I require troops to vanquish the horde that descends upon us from the north.
Very well. Courtiers, fetch me my armor and mace. There is war to be waged!
This is just like Lord of the Rings, and I guess, yeah, this is a good part. Or like, yeah, right, this is a good part, but I mean, this is like as good as this game gets.
The scourge of Nosgoth is upon us, friends. We shall die today as heroes, lest we live tomorrow as slaves. Ready thine arms for Nosgoth!
Distance I saw the Nemesis armies march forward, a black tide that would soon wash over the armies of the Hope.
This battlefield is the only place that has respawning enemies.
I sated my thirst on warriors of Horde and Hope alike, the dying relinquishing their final moments to give me strength. The tide turned with Otmar's death. I watched as the remaining survivors of the armies of Hope fled to the safety of the forest. The battle had decided its victor. The fate of Nosgoth now lay in the Nemesis' hands.
For a couple of days, so you can just keep on killing those guys until you get, you know, like 50,000 kills or something. I'm not really too sure that no one did that. Yeah, it just sounded awful. But if you don't do that, at the end of the game, it's gonna call you a princess. It's like, yeah, okay, princess.
At once, the battlefield was gone. Where the ground
everyone got princess,
was caked with blood and dirt, there was lush greenery. Where chaos reigned only moments before, this damning calm prevailed. Alas, it seemed I was stranded here. The time-streaming device lay in pieces at my feet.
Oh, he just talked about the time-streaming device. I was wondering about that. I wasn't really following along.
Would you stand idle as vermin?
Yeah, you got like the time turner or something. And then at the end of the battle,
will you allow this evil to continue? Will the wickedness end? Do you believe?
Yeah, and that's kind of cool.
Then take me to your king, so that I can prepare
I'm not really
you
too
for the onslaught.
sure how well it's done.
Ah, so it seemed I was in the land of William the Just. 50 years before the battle I had just escaped would take place. The stronghold of William the Just. It was time for me to pay a visit to he who would become the Nemesis and force Nosgoth on its knees.
Right.
Yes, these weapons you've provided will see to that. Pray tell, Mobius, what game do you play?
None, my lord. I only wish to aid you in vanquishing your foes. The weapons are but a token of my goodwill.
And the news you bring, a vampire sent to slay me? Where did you come upon such knowledge?
'Tis of no consequence, sire. It was only out of concern for your majesty's life.
Perhaps. Very well, then. You may leave me now, but should I wish to speak to you...
I will know, your majesty, and I shall be there in time.
vampire. Mobius told me you would come.
Hey, Victus! As his guards rushed to save him, William the Just's blood was already renewing my strength, replacing the life his sword had stolen from my veins. The poor fools, come to aid their fallen leader. Let us have some amusement.
Forgot what I was going to say.
A time streaming device. Strange.
Oh,
when coincidence
he just got the time streaming device again. Probably the same one he used that got him in the past. Yeah, he just killed William the Just and got the time streaming device. They probably got in the future and was using it to return to the future or the present.
With William the Just dead, Mobius's plans have been thwarted. His pawn was removed from the game. I found myself once more in the Nosgoth I knew. The carnage from battle was gone. Yet there was something amiss. From the distance, I heard cries, and a breeze from the south carried with it the faint odor of vampire blood.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
as I wandered about more, the shrieking and cheering became more apparent and defined. There was some sort of gathering to the south, for with each cheer, I smelled an outpour of blood.
And they made Chrono Trigger look good, and then I got it on Steam, and I haven't played it at all. It seems kind of lame.
Unholy scourge! Not yet, my friend. Would you be free of the plague if only one city was cleansed? No! Would you spare one wolf in the pack that has devastated your herd? No! Then let us destroy them all! Yeah! He is the last! Destroy him!
You wouldn't have thought that guy would have been stronger than Vorador, because Vorador directly attacked.
In my haste, I had not realized it before. That sigil on his forehead, the Oracle of Nosgoth, was in fact the time streamer Mobius, and I had followed his advice. How much of my quest was of his design? Willendorf? The Battle of the Last Stand? William the Just? Was this the trap he had fashioned for me?
We will send you back to the grave, whence you came, vampire.
Yeah, and then it turned out that the Oracle
I have seen the future
was actually one of the Circle of Nine. Like, yeah, duh.
Let us call upon the puppets from the past.
Yeah, the whole series is just filled with little twists like that
from
that you probably already knew. I was gonna say, is Vorador a vampire that Tatsu that just got executed? You know, what his mistake probably was hubris.
Ironic. By going back in time and altering the past, you turned William the Just into the Nemesis.
Aye, you have seen my plan, vampire, as I've seen your destiny. The future says you die.
But I am dead. As are you.
And that guy's actually a reoccurring character, and he's really trippy.
I knew that Mobius's hourglass was the focus of his time-streaming magic. Farewell, sorcerer. The sands of time have ceased to flow for you.
Well done, Cain. Mobius did so love playing the trickster's part. His guise as the Oracle served his schemes well. Pity with all his plots he failed to plan for you. Come to me, my undead son. Make haste to the pillars. The stage is set for the grand finale. You will have your vengeance.
And this game is almost kind of like the Blair Witch Project, where you just keep on hyping it up. You try and see if you can get anyone to think
It
it's
had
cool
to be.
with you.
Nopraptor's
Play through
insanity
the game.
poisoned all of our minds.
Yeah, no chance
The circle
of
had
that, or
failed
if
in
they
its
say
sworn
they
duties.
did play
It
through
had
the
to be
game.
destroyed.
Failed
How
our
could you even
duties.
know?
Idiot!
Never
The circle exists
you
for
did
us.
it.
We
Said
don't
you
exist
really
for
liked
it. Our powers will save or damn Nosgoth at our whim. Stand with us, Mortanius, or die.
Then I shall die.
You also can't tell. There's also a lot of really gross stuff. I don't know. It's difficult to really tell what the whole thing is about.
If the circle is to be destroyed, you have to die as well, Necromancer. I admire your cunning, but you will not escape your fate.
Nay, I will embrace it. But my death will leave one more to take, Princeling. Finish me!
Yeah, and he's actually the guy that brought King back to life as a vampire.
You thought yourself a king, when in fact you were a pawn.
It looks like he was possessed by the devil or something.
I serve
Man, that's just
no
like
one.
Medivh or Medivh in
Such
Warcraft.
narrow vision.
Now he was
Don't
doing
you
all this
see?
stuff and it
My
turned
silence
out
of
that he was
area and its
actually
calculated repercussions
possessed
is
by
but the first
demons.
act in my theater of ground in your...
didn't even realize it.
You are the tragic hero. Play on, little vampire. Play on.
Fay Victus!
And then it turned out that
I am
he
the
was
last
the
pillar,
last
the only survivor
Circle
of the
of
Circle of
Nine
Nine.
person without
At
even
my whim,
realizing it.
the world will
Because
heal
this was the person
or
who
damn
was his position in the circle.
my
And when
whim.
she was murdered, he was born.
Once I embraced my powers, I realized that Vorador was correct. We are gods. Dark gods. And it is our duty to thin the herd.
See, we have this slings. You should have gotten 20 more or something. Secret Sirius Princess.